Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to MTsB podcast. MTsB,
Choice.
credible, high quality, objective, integrity, construct amalia ahlu sunnah, excellent. Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Ma'am Dina Wifqiyah Rohmah. You can call me Ma'am Dina, and I am with my partner.
Mayaddah Aini you can call me Mem Maya.
And today we are going to discuss about one material in a civic education. That's about culture. Okay, so culture, Indonesian culture has a many kind of types. For
Right.
example, dance, food, clothes, music.
Yes, and tradition also.
Okay, there are many kind of Indonesian culture, either a national or regional culture, right? However, several culture that we have already claimed, already recognized by another country, and also some culture that we have will be extinct because there is no one who want to continue to preserve the culture. That's why the important for the younger generation or Gen Z or Gen Alpha or millennial generation also to maintain or to preserve the national, the regional or Indonesian culture. Because as we all know that culture is also our identity. If we went to Madura, we will know about Karapan Sapi, right? Or if we want to go to Ponorogo, we will find peok. Yes. So it means that every region has their own characteristic. Every region has their own culture. That's why I call culture is our identity. Same with Indonesian culture that uphold the politeness. So foreign people or someone who are in abroad will know us about our politeness or kindness. So it's all about the culture. And then I would like to ask several questions, Ma'am Maya.
Okay.
So could you identify the national or regional culture that have been global?
Okay, I will explain first. Yeah. Maybe national culture means here is a culture or general culture that's already recognized by UNESCO and the whole world, right? And there is so many national culture that we have, but the most popular national culture that gone global is the first is batik. Yes, we know that batik is our traditional culture, traditional clothes that's always be used in every events. And the second is ancient Sangiran, ancient humans site. Yeah, this museum is a museum that inside it saves ancient relics like human statues and also human fossil like that. And we also have Candi Borobudur or Borobudur Temple. You know that Borobudur Temple is the biggest Buddhist temple in the world. That's why we need to preserve it. And we also have keris and angklung and also gamelan and many more. Yeah, the national that's all the national culture that I was mentioned is already recognized by UNESCO. And the next is regional culture. So I said this is a regional culture because the culture that I will mention is not yet identified by UNESCO. Why it's happened? Maybe because there is so many culture that we have, so that it's really difficult to mention to recognize one by one. And there is some ethnic that don't want their culture being touched by foreign people like that. So the example for our regional culture is like you already mentioned, Raya Ponorogo. Yeah, that is our culture, but not yet being recognized by UNESCO. And then we have kecak dance, and also the food that we always meet in our daily life, like as fermented soybean or tempe. You know tempe, right?
Yes.
And then spice juice, or we call that es jamu. We always find it in daily life. And also fried rice that have a typical flavor, or nasi goreng. It's also our regional culture in our country. I think that's all. And there is so many other culture, regional, whether it's regional culture or national culture, we have so many more, but it's impossible to explain it one by one here.
Okay.
So maybe I have a question for you, Melina. The question is about why national culture become a I'm sorry, how can national culture be developed to a global level if within the country itself the young generation is in love with the culture of other nations?
So it is actually our big problem, Maya, because globalization has brought a negative and positive impact for aspect of life. One of them is about our culture, Indonesian culture. So, in reality, the younger generation more interest with a foreign culture that comes to Indonesia, for example, K-pop. They try to imitate the foreign culture that comes from the fashion, from the food, or from the hairstyle, and etc. So it will be our homework to find the solution or to solve the problem together, because younger generation also, most of them don't really know about the kind of culture that we have. Moreover, they also influenced by the sophisticated technology, advanced technology that access all the information about the world advancedly and fast. Yeah. So it's important for the younger generation know about the kind of a culture that we have. After that, if they know about the culture, they have to start to learn. They have to start to learn about one culture or several culture. We have start from the regional culture. After that, so it will we have to find a solution together. First is from the family first, yeah, from the family. As the member of family, maybe parents, brother or sister, they have to introduce the regional culture to the children, because as I said before, that the culture is our identity. Yeah, if we don't want to learn, if we don't want to know about our culture, so we will lose our identity as Indonesian people. So that's my answer about, yeah, the young generation start to try or imitate the foreign culture, and it's our big problem, and we have to solve the problem together. Of course, of the generation or people are really important for the family, for the schools, maybe, and then for the friends and someone around them. We have to understand that culture need to be preserved, need to be maintained together. It should be maintained by all generation. Yeah. By, just I said before, knowing first. After knowing, we have to practice. And then after practice, we can use or utilize our social media, yeah, to introduce or to give information or to spread information about Indonesian culture or regional culture. For example, in Sidoarjo, yeah, I'm sure that Sidoarjo has many culture, right? For example, just I have food, a traditional food. It's one of them is a gempo. Gempo is a traditional food that made from nut and also coconut. So I'm sure that younger generation don't really know about this kind of food, and maybe someone around them also never introduced them, yeah, about this kind of traditional food, so that they do not know exactly what is gempo or what is a traditional culture, traditional food. I mean, traditional food that we have. So that's
As you say, that we need to preserve, right? Preserve our culture. But as you say that it's important for us to preserve our culture. But why? Why we need to love our culture? It's have benefit for us.
of course it have many benefits for us as an Indonesian people. Why we have to love our culture, because one, the main factor or the main reason is it is our responsibility as Indonesian people. Yes. And also because a culture has for example like this, a foreign culture, foreign people will come to Indonesia, will know about our culture first. Like when we say sate or nasi goreng, red rice, yeah, of course they thought that's come from Indonesia. Okay, so it's important to for us as Indonesian people to preserve or maintain the culture, because it's our responsibility. And we have to love our culture also. It will maintain our togetherness, our unity between one and another. So that if we have a same goal, same purpose, same aims to maintain or preserve the culture together, it will guide our relationship with one and another, with between people in Indonesia. Exactly. And then, so talking about it, there are many cultures that are claimed by another country. What do you think about that? Could you give me an example of a culture that claimed by another country?
So I will explain first why uh our culture can be claimed by other country. Maybe because the first is our culture have a similar our ethnic have a similar ethnic with other country like Malaysia. We also Melayu and they also Melayu. So that's why the culture that we have is similar to them and make a controversy between us. The example of culture that being claimed by Malaysia is batik, and then wayang kulit, and then pendek dance and piring dance. it's already recognized by UNESCO, but Malaysia also claim it as their culture, so that it's being a very complicated things in our media social because uh, we have a similarity in culture. And then we also have kebaya, right? But in the other country, kebaya also used as their traditional clothes, like in Singapore. So that it's also being claimed, kebaya being claimed in Singapore and all and other country in Southeast Asia. I think that's the example of our culture that being claimed by other countries.
And then, what do you think? How to preserve the culture as a student?
How to preserve? Okay, the easiest way to preserve our culture is by visiting heritage place like museum like that or a temple. The nearest temple is Candi Pari or Pari Temple. I mean, and the nearest museum is Hutan Bulan. From there, we can learn about our culture and the historical background. Why the culture being shown in our life. And the second is by participating. Uh, we can doing follow a dancing group, or we can singing our traditional song, and we can make it viral so that our friends can know it and other foreign people can know about our culture itself. And after that, we need to not being influenced by other foreign culture so that we can save our culture, we can preserve our culture without the touch of other foreign culture out there like that. The next question from you. Oh, okay. Maybe I have question for you again. Still about culture, of course. What is the role of student in maintaining national culture that that society is starting to abandon? So I will repeat again. What is the role of student in maintaining natural culture that society is starting to abandon, such as wayang, ludruk, and roncong?
Okay, thank you for the question. I will try to answer. The importance of or the role of student are very significant to maintain the culture, especially the national culture or the Indonesian culture, because there are several culture that gonna be ignored by uh, the younger generation or by the Indonesian people. So, such as ludruk, keroncong, wayang, and etc. So maybe the role of the student of maintaining the culture following following the the activity, yeah, for maintaining the culture, or they can also try to learn about a keroncong modern. Oh, it little bit dynamics, not a status, yeah. Because if we introduce them about the original keroncong, maybe they will bored and they think that it's a left behind. So maybe the student could create a new arrangement, yeah, that's combined with modern instrument or modern music, modern genre. So it will be create or it will have a new innovation. Yeah, it will have a new innovation or a new creation for from the from the student. So the role of the student is very significant to maintain the culture that are going to be ignored by most of Indonesian culture. And not only the role of the student, but also the role of the school or university. They have to uh, provide time and place to the students, okay, for maintaining or for practicing, for knowing, for learning about the Indonesian or national culture.
Okay, that is about the culture that being abandoned. But how about culture that being almost not extinct? So how do you learn about a culture that is almost extinct? We know that if learning resources are difficult to find.
Okay, so we are in a sophisticated technology, we are in advanced technology. All the problem, inshallah, will be solved. Yeah, if we want to find. So if we want to learn about a culture that is extinct, we can realize to our environment because most of us um, use a handphone too much, so they until they do not realize that their environment has many or beneficial knowledge, especially about culture. And I'm sure that if the student realize about the regional culture around them and have a good intention to find and to learn the national culture, I'm sure that they will find a way. They will find a way. And it's also supported by sophisticated and advanced technology. They will easy to find, they will easy to learn about the culture that will be extinct. The important one is we have to realize um, about our environment. Yeah, we have to realize about our regional culture first. If every region has uh, someone or has has a people who are realize about the culture or regional culture, I'm sure it will be easy to find the source or someone who are expert in the Circana culture that we need. So first is we have to realize, and then second we have to have a good intention, yeah, to find the expert, yeah, or people that we can learn or that can share the information about the culture.
So we need to use our media social and
Yes,
internet.
yes, okay. So I think enough for today for this discussion. The conclusion of this discussion is culture, regional, national, or Indonesian culture are very important to be preserved together, not only for the elder people but also for the younger generation. Have a significant role in maintaining this culture.
And also to save our culture, we need to wake up. Yeah, we need to open our eyes so that our culture not being claimed by other people.
Okay, as a younger generation, we also should open our mind. Yes, yeah, open our mind that we can combine, we can recreate, we can recreate our culture so that it will be a new version, so that it will not be left behind.
That can be interest.
Yeah, that will make other people interest, especially for the younger generation. Yeah. So the younger generation will not be influenced or will not impressed with foreign culture that comes.
That's right, because there is so much dangerous culture out there that can
Yes.
avoiding our culture, our Indonesian culture.
Because as we all know that the foreign culture, some of the foreign culture do not suitable with our culture, right?
Yes, that's right.
And it will, yeah, you know that there are many kind of culture who have opposite with our
Manners.
yes, our manners. So it's important for us to maintain Indonesian culture. So that's all, Maya, for today. Thank you so much
I think
for
it's very
coming. Yeah, it's very enough. So the last we say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.